kill it in this business and girls who don't, and they lose their hope and their fire and they die out. It's not that one is smarter. It's not that one is doing anything more or different, really. It's just that they know how to continue to show up even when it's not there. Now, let me tell you a little story, and then I'm going to share something else with you guys. I have, hold on. They're getting in the car next door, so I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, you can still hear me. Okay, so I just want to tell you guys, if you don't even know my story, I've been here for 3.5 years. You guys, I did super well really fast. Great, it's wonderful. And I'm not going to downplay that success because it did take a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice. But to be honest, it wasn't that hard. And you want to know why? It's because we were in full-blown momentum. People were signing up left and right. I couldn't even keep up with the ranks. It was fun. There was really no setbacks. No one was complaining about the products then. There was no lawsuit. There was no nothing. There was no obstacle yet. So anyone can thrive when there's no bumps and no obstacles. That's nothing. That's not a leader. That's not a true entrepreneur. That's someone who just took advantage of a good situation and got really blessed. Like, that's all that was. But guess what? The only reason I am where I am now and that I got back to hitting SED is because I stuck around through when all of that fell apart and I did hit my lows. And here's a newsflash, you guys. Every one of you will hit a low. It might not be a super big low, but everybody hits a bump in this business. Everybody hits a bump in entrepreneur life. That's the way it goes. You will always hit one. So it's not a matter of if you're going to, it's just a matter of when you're going to. So I'm literally tell all my newbies, I go, listen, this is going to be the most blessed thing you'll ever do. I truly believe in my heart. You're going to stretch yourself. You're literally going to become a different person. You're going to find this camaraderie in this community, in this family, and you're going to find things out about yourself you never knew you could do, and you're going to find so much joy. But you're going to have bumps, and they're going to come, and your aunt's going to return the product and not like it. And your friend that said she was going to join and run is going to quit, and all these things. So guess what? When they happen, you are not going to be surprised, and you are not going to call me and cry. You know why? Because I told you from day one, and you're already prepared, and there's no surprises. And guess what? People don't want surprises. I'm all about setting up realistic expectations. Surprises cause death to your business and death to yourself. So I tell people the truth. I say it's going to be rewarding and joyful and wonderful, but you're going to have bumps. Don't get surprised when they come, and guess what? We're going to roll through them, and you're going to be fine. When you talk to people like that, you guys, and you give them that, they really do. They're like, okay, Connie told me this was going to happen. And they are not coming to me going, oh, good, my friend returned the products, or my aunt hates it, or whatever it is, right? They don't care because they're like, this is what Connie told me was supposed to happen. This is what has to happen to become successful. It's the tax you got to take, which is getting through the obstacles. It is an obstacle course, right? You got to find your way through, roll around the bumps, roll around the thing that swings around and pop. It reminds me of that. What's that game show, you guys? Wipeout. This is freaking Wipeout, okay? This is the Wipeout of MLMs, okay? Or not even MLMs. This being an entrepreneur is like going on the Wipeout game show. Okay, but on Wipeout, you only earn $50,000 if you win. And here you earn, obviously, as we all know, way, way, way more, okay, if you give this a go. But it's like Wipeout. So if you see everything that comes your way as, oh my gosh, I'm just one step closer. Okay, I'm one step closer to getting to the end of this game, or I'm one step closer to beating this thing. Like, you kind of take it as like a challenge, and you're like, oh, you don't get weirded out anymore. You guys, I'm not kidding you. That's why I see my business. I just see one little thing as, it's okay. Like, I talked to this girl for 3 months and she signed up with this other girl. It's okay. Well, I'm not even worried about it because I know that all the seeds I plant, God returns for good. And I don't even have to be stressed about it. You know what I'm saying? So this is the kind of stuff, you guys, I'm just telling you, when you see your business that way and you understand obstacles, you understand the lulls, you understand that's part of how it goes. You guys, there are months when I don't sign up any VIPs and no market partners all the same time. And then there's a random month and I have 7 VIPs in one day. No joke, like the weirdest stuff. And I'm like, okay, I know how this works now. And it's the Sarah Hill phrase, what you're doing today has nothing to do with today. That phrase will change a lot of your people's minds and a lot of yours. What I'm doing today has nothing to do with today. So I don't do the whole, let me post up a story. And if no one bought, I get so frustrated because I worked so hard on that and I did so good and I did my cute video and it got no views and it got no shares and I get all pissed off. I don't do that, you guys. I just go, that's just a seed planted that's popping off later, because everything I'm doing today is not about today. You know what I'm saying? So please don't dismiss the things that you guys are doing right now if they're not seeing fruit, okay? This is how you judge whether or not you're doing what you need to be doing in this business. Are you showing up on all the team calls and are you plugging in? Okay, that's my number one, first and foremost thing. Are you part of the fire? Are you next to the fire? Are you plugged in? That's the first thing sign when someone starts to either go, oh, I'm going south, or things aren't working. I go, oh, I haven't seen you on anything. You're not in the team chats. You're not congratulating anybody. You're not sharing. You're not in the team calls. You're not in anything. Like, no, like you can't even complain then, you know? So I always ask that, are you plugged in? Yes. Okay, I'm plugged in. I'm next to the fire. The second thing I want you to gauge for how are you doing in this business is, are you doing income producing activity? Okay. Income producing activity may not be what you think it is, which here's a big tip from me. I don't watch stories. I rarely watch stories. At this point in my business, I just don't do it because it's not where I am yet. I'm not at a place in my business where I have the luxury and or time to watch stories. I got to get my own dang stories going and I got to work my business. So you have to be able to understand income producing activity, meaning are you doing things that are yielding business for you, or are you just watching everybody else and boosting everybody else's algorithms and commenting on everybody else's polls and questions and you don't even have your own out, you know? Things like that. So I always say, what are you doing? How many messages are you putting out? How much content have you put out there this week? And these are just ways to gauge, you guys, where you are at. How many new people have you interacted with? How many new friends have you added on social media? How many new conversations have you started in your voice messenger or your text? That's the stuff I would gauge. And if all of those things I just brought up, you're going, I'm doing all those things. Guess what? Good for you. You're amazing. I have no worries for you. Even if you haven't signed up one single person, I have no worries for the girl that's doing all those things, because it's just a matter of time, honestly, before the seeds start to pop. You know what I mean? So please, you guys, just know and pat yourself on the back if you're doing those things, and know what it takes to be successful and what the price is to pay. And the prices to pay to be successful: obstacle courses, lots of lulls, lots of waiting periods, and you keep going anyways, because you just don't know when those seeds are going to pop. Okay. All right, so that's that, you guys. One thing I want to talk about when it comes to, you guys, this is my new book, by the way. I'm always reading and it's Dream Big by Bob Goff. Absolutely insanely incredible. If you don't even get this book, the best thing you could ever do for your soul is go follow Bob Goff, Goff, on Instagram. He does the best quotes. He's phenomenal. He's the motivational dream bigger, major world renowned speaker. He's a brainiac. He used to be an ex-lawyer and blah, blah, blah. He's phenomenal, you guys. But here's the thing I'm going to read to you. One real quick thing, and then we're going to just talk on a little bit on recruiting and some questions. I want to read this to you. This is a biblical passage. If you're not biblical, don't worry about it. Just take this is what he's, just understand the story, okay? Do you remember the passage in the Bible where the blind man called out to Jesus so that he could be healed? And Jesus's friends tried to help out by telling the man to stop yelling. Be quiet, man. Stop yelling, stop yelling. But the blind man just yelled even louder. Maybe you should do the same if people have been trying to get you to quiet down about your ambitions. Quit whispering them to yourself and instead start shouting them into the world. Jesus asked the blind guy the same question that he asks all of us every single day. What do you want me to do for you? What do you want me to do for you? The answer must have seemed pretty obvious to the blind guy, but just like God in the garden with Adam and Eve, I don't think Jesus needed to hear the answer. He wanted to make sure the blind guy was clear on his ambitions and knew what he wanted more than anything else. He wants the same from me and you too. Where the story gets good is when the blind guy tells Jesus his desire. Rabbi, I want to see. I can imagine him saying this with pleading, outstretched arms. Jesus wants the same for you, to gain more clarity on your faith, relationships, and what he uniquely made you for. He wants you to really see. Quit merely asking for thicker glasses when Jesus has invited us to climb up on his shoulders for a better view. Now, is that not the freaking spine-chillingest thing ever? I saw that and I'm like, holy crud, I don't know, I have to, like, it literally just, I gotta share that. Quit merely asking for thicker glasses when Jesus has invited us to climb up on his shoulders for a better view. You see, some of us, you guys, are not shouting from the rooftops what we want in this business, and it's because of fear. It's because of fear. It's because of doubt, because if we don't hit it, like, we're going to look stupid if we go on our Instagram and say, oh, I want to buy a house one day. Or we're going to look like, what if we don't? You guys, I'm telling you, I know, I feel it too. Even after all I've achieved and seen God do in my life, I still have the upper limit problem where I go, yeah, this is amazing, but I don't know, like, it's amazing for her, or maybe we got to stop with that, because that is not how God has called us to be. That is not why you are here. You wouldn't even be on this Zoom call right now. Even if you don't know it, I know it. Okay. I know Chrissy and Mel know it. You're on this call with me at 6:45, whatever time it is, on a freaking Wednesday night for so much more than you even understand. And it's going to be up to you to get off this call and go, you know what? I'm done playing small, because my God is not small. And if you don't believe in God, you got to get to know Jesus. Like Angelique says, we're going to get you saved. I love when she says that. But seriously, you guys, we've got to just start saying, God, this is what I want in this business. This is what I want in this business. What is it, you guys? And are you sharing that with people? Or are you a master at sharing products and ingredients and cute videos and, talking about the business? But what about you? I want you to get good at showing people who you are and what are your ambitions and what are your crazy big dreams, you guys, because people are going to join your team. I'm going into recruiting, by the way, if you haven't told yet, if you haven't been able to tell. Recruiting changed for me when I got better, and I was pretty open already, but when Krista taught me this, Krista Parney, she's the master of it. When I got very good about being open with where I'm going and what God's already done. And if you haven't experienced a ton of success in this business, I don't care. Share everybody else's. You better be sharing like the dang wind that Chrissy and Mel are getting their cars. These sisters who've been in this business, who've worked hard, share their story, share their past, share how they've overcome things, and they're getting their cars in the same month together. Like, in what life? What world is this? You better share about Brittany Rose and our upline, how she $1 million it. You better share my story. I'm just a pastor's wife who was in a 1-bedroom condo who had $0 in the bank, and we just bought a house and we paid in cash for our backyard, and I just talking about it can't even handle it. See what that does? When you share about things that are moving and grooving in this business, and especially on our team, it gets you, it draws out the emotion in you, and people see it and feel it. And if you're not ready to do it by voice and with your face, then do it in a post and do it in a story. But you got to get masters at sharing the good and sharing the stories. And you got to be a master at sharing your own ambitions. If your story isn't there yet, you got to say, look at Christy and Mel. And what does that matter? Don't just stop there and go, look at my uplines, they're getting a car. No one gives a crap. To be honest, if they don't know Christy and Mel, no one cares. Like, oh, great, look at her bragging about car people. You got to trail it into, what does that mean? So when I share the car and I talk about these things, I'll get back on and go, you know what this means? This is $500 that they can now take, and guess what they're doing with that money? These people were able to do this, 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 and this, and share what that means. You guys saw on payday, go take all those stories and share those stories of what people said this is doing for their life. Because see, dollars and signs don't always equate to everybody, but purpose and what people are doing with it and how their lives are changing and whatever is what you're going to need to share. You know what I'm saying? So make sure and just share those things and share what that means to you. Like, what does that inspire about you, you guys? What are you excited for in this company right now? What's your next big, what are you looking forward to? And if it freaks you out and it's like too scary to talk about it, say that. Say, this is real scary, guys. My armpits are sweating, but I am going to share with you my ambitions and my dream big goals, because I've seen it happen with girls just like me. And it's going to happen for me too. And I know it. And I just am so excited to share it. And it scares me, but I'm sharing it. Okay. That is the biggest piece to recruiting, is people got to know who you are, guys. They've got to see things about you that they relate to. They got to see that you're real. They can't just keep seeing that you guys are on, with product, this, that, business, whatever. They want to know, what about you though? What is it about you and who are you? You know what I mean? So that's my biggest tip for recruiting. We can get into specifics, okay, for sure. But I just know that the more I do that and I just share what's going on with me and Phil, what's going on with our church, what's going on with our kids, how's our marriage, whatever. And I'm not getting on doing deep, dark stuff, secrets. I'm not, of course, we don't throw our pearls to the swine, but I'm getting on and just letting people know who I am and that I'm real and that I'm relatable in some way, shape, or form. And people want to join who they know and trust. And guess what? People want to join people who are on fire. They will join. And again, Krista said this too. She said, if I see you post all your stuff and whatever, but I don't know who you are, I'm not going to join your team. I will join the girl who's just out here like, hey, this is where I'm going. I'm going to get my car. These girls are on fire. She's like, they don't have to know anything about anything, but I'll join their team because they're on fire. They're excited. And this is why she recruits so well. She's on fire and excited every day as if she just signed up, and she's almost been here for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And we just have to check ourselves. Have I been doing that? Have I been sharing anything I'm excited for in the last 3 weeks? Have I been sharing anything this business has done for my family? Have I been sharing anything that my upline or my downline is doing that's amazing? Have I been sharing? Well, then why the heck is anyone going to join my team? And I'm telling you this because I do this all the time. And I go, why is no one joining my team? I wouldn't even join my team based on what I've been doing, you know? So remember that phrase. Would you join your own team based on what I'm doing in the beginning? I have no worries with that girl. You're the girl that I'll say, don't even, it's going to be a matter of time because you're doing the do. Okay, long-winded rant, but wasn't that good in the book? Wasn't that so good? Okay, guys, questions on absolutely anything. I hope that was helpful a little bit.
So good, Connie. Just wanted to say I'm crying through the whole thing, and I always am like, oh, I'm so excited. Connie's going to train my team, and then I'm like, I'm not doing that. So thank you so much for all the things you're saying. I have so many notes written down right now, but I just so appreciate you doing this for our team. And yes, girls, please ask away.
Yes, guys, anything at all. Honestly, I'm always trying to share what I'm learning too. Trust me, everything I share is because I need to hear it. You know, it's always stuff that I'm going through right now too that I'm feeling. But anything that you guys are particularly like wanting to know or like specifics.
I'm just wondering when we're getting oil back.
Okay. Good question.
I need answers.
I know.
I have potentials out the wazoo that are just sitting aside waiting. Literally, a lady out at her local Rite Aid wants to sign up, and she really needs that oil for her husband who has very bad psoriasis. And I only got a little bit. My grandma's gone back talk out of her.
Okay, here's the thing with that. If you guys are, honestly, I get it. And if you're struggling with stuff like that, there's gotta be people on your team. You guys, if you start somehow, who will sell me an oil or who will like broker a deal with me to get this girl signed up? Like maybe make it a deal and be like, if you sign up right now, I will give you the oil for super discounted price. I know we're not allowed to, but you know what I mean? Just to get her going and buy it from someone who has a stash. Cause I know girls have stashes, but if not, it's coming back mid-August, which is literally 3 weeks away. So that's not that far from what I've heard. It could be earlier, but you guys, just so you know, when we go out of stock on things, people go, how are we out of stock? We make everything ourselves. We do make everything ourselves. We own our own lab. We own our own warehouse. However, our bottles are not ours. Those are outsourced from the big manufacturers. And since COVID and all the big power plants, people can't all work together. They have to go in tiny shifts. They're not getting as many produced. And that's why we're at the shortage is the bottles. So mid-August. What else, guys? Anyone else?
Hey, everyone said in that messenger group about about market partners and recruiting. I know Connie covered anything. Was there any questions on that you guys needed to know? Is there anything that we're missing?
I had a question. When you do onboarding calls, I think it was you who I remember saying something about there was like 3 things that you do. And I didn't get to write them down the last training. And I think one of them was really important, and it was something that you said. I think it might have been like a Meet Monet party or an online one, but what are like your top things on onboarding calls that you must?
So good, Ruth. Okay, we just did one last night. Okay, so here's what they are. There's 4. I don't know why I said 3 before, but I don't know if I broke it out into 4, but here's the 4 things. Okay, on the onboarding, we start with, okay, so I'm going to do it in a different way. We did this as a group onboarding, but if you're doing a one-on-one, it's welcome, how are you? Why did you join? You know, tell me a little bit about yourself. This was a group one, so we had everyone kind of go around and share and tell their why, where they're from, right? Whatever. You got to get that right out the gate. We don't want to just be like, hey, welcome, boom, here you go. Got to go smart start, right? Like get to know the people and just make sure everybody knows everybody's why. There is no sense because here's where I think a lot of people get stuck is they get people on their teams that they want to become runners, and the people don't want to run. They're like, I didn't even like, I'm not, you know what I mean? So you want to know where people stand and like what they want out of this business. So make sure you just start out with what is their why? What do they really want to do? And it's fine if it's tiny, small, because as we know, once they get in and plug into the fire, that can grow, but just gauge where people are so that we know how much to give and push and help and all the things. And then the very first thing I say is, okay, there's lots of information. You just became an entrepreneur. Congratulations. Being an entrepreneur is a lot. You're going to have more pages to join, more resources to click on, and more team trainings than your eyeballs can handle. And it's going to be very overwhelming. However, I would rather have a plethora of information to pull from than nothing at all when becoming a business owner. So just know you're never at a lack of resources. You need to take things one step at a time. And the point of this onboarding call is so that you know what to do right now, most important in your business. There is no sense of you getting on and learning pay plan right now. There is no sense in you learning how to do creative unfold stories. Listen, we got to start you right, or you're going to start trying to put your hand in all these cookie jars that have nothing to do with getting you off the ground, right? So I kind of explain that to them, that like I don't want them doing all these like social media, like whatever, and they can if they want, but let's first get you to understand how you're going to take advantage of your smart start, right? So point number one, I tell them, is the very first thing that we want to do, obviously, is share. Okay, so I tell them the very first thing you want to do, even before your product pack comes, is share your why. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. You got to share, because if you're opening a business and you don't open your doors, imagine having a retail store and you never open your doors for business. Nobody knows you're open for business. So you got to share. Literally go on and do an IGTV if you can. If you're not ready for that, then do a story. If you're not ready than that, do a post. Do some type of coming out post. We call it the coming out post, story, share, video, whatever. Rip the Band-Aid off so people know what you're doing. And you guys know Caitlin and Brittany on the team who've been flying like crazy and doing so good. This was what they did. They signed up, and the very next morning they had an IGTV up that said, listen, we're doing this dang thing. We love these products. We returned them back in the day because we heard all the lawsuits and we're over it. We don't care. We're running. If you want to run, come. Like, they just called out all the stuff. So I tell people, if you had objections, if you were fearful, you need to say that in your very first post. There is power in showing people, I know, guys, I felt just like you, and here we go. So the first thing is share. Second thing is launch party. I want them to immediately start thinking about their launch party date. Hopefully give us a few days in advance, obviously, because we do them on Facebook mainly, so that we can create the Facebook group and get people invited, and then we'll start posting and doing it, right? So I tell them, start thinking of dates and times, and let's get that scheduled like within the next week if we can. And they start going, okay, great, and they're already working on that. The third thing is, get me on the phone with your first two people. Who are your first two people we could literally just call right now? Your aunt, your cousin, your mom, your friend, that you could literally say, listen, Linda, you are doing this with me. Okay, I know you need the money. Or, hey, you have good hair. I don't know anything yet, but get on the phone with my upline because we're doing this thing, girl. Like, the people you can just talk like that with, right? And the reason I tell them that is because, as you guys know, we want them to hit MMP as fast as we can. And we got to get them and their first two people to do that. By the way, just so you guys know, I say this even with my potentials. I say, hey, I know you're not ready to sign up yet, but start thinking of two people you want to do this business with. And I'd love to hop on the phone with them, because when you're ready to click submit, I want them to sign up with you. And that way you're going to literally click submit and already be halfway to MMP. And I'm like pre-onboarding them before they even sign up. That's a genius tip, by the way. So, that's number 3, is get me who's our first two people we can get on a 3-way, and they'll do it. They'll start thinking of them, and they'll be like, yeah, let's talk to so-and-so, whoever, whatever, right? And then the fourth thing is, obviously, I want you to get in Market Partner Academy and watch Foundations. Get in there and get your booty buns in there and start watching training. That's phenomenal training on all things network marketing, but also on all things specifically in our business. And you need to know what it's going to take. You need to know Smart Start. You need to know, I'm not going to go over all that with you right now. You get in there and go watch it. And then we're going to regroup next week, and I want to see where you're at and what's going on, what you've done, or not even next week, but we'll be on Voxer, so we talk all the time, right? Oh, and that's the other thing, Voxer. Maybe there's 5. Get on the Voxer chat. You got to be in a group chat. Okay, so that's the 5 steps. Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you. That was really helpful.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all I say. I don't say anything else on onboarding because it's too much. They're already like, whoa, I don't get into MMP. I don't even say what Smart Start is because listen, you guys, I want them to have skin in the game. All I need to do is tell you where the tools are, but you need to go pick the tools up, right? Like if you start trying to say, oh, this is what this tool does, and this tool builds this house, and this one does this for the front door, and this tool does this for your doorknob, I am going to be lost. I'm going to put the doorknob on the roof and I'm going to not know what's going on. Like if you just say, here's the tools, pick up one at a time and let's regroup. Once you've done that, I can do that. You know what I mean? Like that's easy peasy. So just keep kiss. Keep it stupid simple. Okay, guys, anyone else?
I have. At what point do you like stop sending messages to a market partner potential?
I don't know that there is ever a point. When they tell me don't ever message me again, I guess would be the point, like that I would stop. And I've never had anyone ever do that. I guess I get to a point where I go, listen, I do not want to be a Bugosaurus Rex. I don't want to waste your time and honestly mine. I'm very busy and I'm training people who want to do this and all the things. And I love you, friend, but you told me, because, okay, here's a big tip, you guys, by the way, when you're talking to potentials is you have to very quickly, right away, know what their why is. So you have to say, listen, if you were to do this, what would make this worth your time? Like, what would you want out of this? Or what would make this, it's just hypothetically, if you were to do this, or if you were to join my team, what would make this worth your while? And they'll tell you their why, and they haven't even signed up and they haven't even told you they want to do it. But now you have something, right? Now when they respond and go, well, I guess it'd be worth my time if I could make $500 a month, or I guess it'd be worth my time if I could just have some girl time and some adult time, whatever, right? Now you have something. So in your follow-ups and when they don't sign up and when they keep not signing up, you can say, listen, Danielle, we've talked. I know you told me that if you were to ever do this, it would be worth your time to make the $500. And I'm telling you, since the conversations and the time that's passed, you could have made the $500, girlfriend. I'm not even joking. I want you to do this, but I also don't want to bug you to high heavens. So tell me where you're realistically at. Is this still on the radar? Did you just get busy? Is it a money situation? You're not going to freak me out. I've heard it all. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you tell me absolutely not. I just want to know where you are so I can help you best. Is there something I missed? Did I not answer a question? So I always kind of just bring it back on me. Did I not answer a question? Is there something that I missed that you're still waiting on? You're not going to freak me out. You're not going to hurt my feelings to tell me no. I just don't want to be a Bugosaurus Rex, but I also don't want to let you go if you're really thinking about this and you have an obstacle that I just wasn't able to answer yet, you know? So I try to just call it to the carpet at that. When you start feeling like, okay, they're ghosting you, you just got to call it out and go, what am I missing here? And they'll tell you. And then you leave it alone. And then you don't need to follow up with them and for months or whatever, right? I've had plenty of those people where it's literally been 3 years and then they join my team. Because it's just taken that long. And I don't give them the time of day. I'm not talking to them every week, but they're just the ones I could just rotate through and check back in months. And I didn't even have to do that because they all joined because of me staying consistent on my stories and sharing the fire and all the stuff because they're watching you guys. That's the other thing is they're watching you guys. They really are, even when they tell you no. And so you just keep on rolling.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
On the months where you're not getting any market partners that actually want to do the business, what is the one thing that you focus on doing to get there? Because I think at this point, I have a few girls, obviously, that are working the business with me and everything. But I think when you asked the question earlier in the training of what's making you excited about this business, for me, it's building a team. I had never been excited for that. And I think this is the moment where I'm stoked. And I literally tell my husband every day, why are people not taking this opportunity? And it's frustrating almost. But what is the one, I'd say the one or two things you do when you're not getting market partners that are willing to work the business?
Okay, so with them, what do I do with them, or what am I doing aside from them?
I think aside from them,
Got it.
general, to build your team.
Yep.
More girls.
Well, okay, so again, it goes back to the whole thing of, are you sharing what would make, okay, are you sharing about what you want to recruit? Meaning I had to take a look at this too and say, okay, I want people who are business minded. I want hard workers. And guess what? I looked at what I was sharing for the past 6 months, and everything I was sharing was, you can do this as a stay-at-home mom, and you can make $200, and you can do this in between the nooks and crannies of your life. That is going to recruit, guess what? Someone who wants to just maybe do this here and there, make a $200. That's not recruiting a runner that wants to work hard, because I wasn't talking that language. I wasn't speaking that way. And I had to change. I'm like, so how am I going to recruit? You know what I'm saying? I was speaking out and sharing, and that's exactly what I was attracting. So I'm like, if I want to attract people with XYZ mindset, I better start speaking on and hitting on XYZ mindset a lot more. So then for you, Ruth, if it's the team thing and you want to recruit people who want to be a part of a team, rev that up. And you may be doing that already, but I would kick that up a notch like nobody's business. I would be doing dual lives all the time with sidelines showing that you're a part of a team. I would be sharing stories like crazy. I would be doing this, like, share this team call. I mean, which I'm sure you're all doing, that you're part of the team and that you're doing the team stuff. I would be just doing as much as I can in that regard. But even more so to that, I would also speak to just speak on it more. Like, actually go on and talk about being a part of a community and what that means and what you're passionate about. Why do you want to build a team? Why are you? Because I can see that with you right now, just talking about it. You're all smiling and you're all excited. Get on your stories and talk about that, and why does that fuel you, and what about that makes you so happy, and how, like, that is the stuff. You know what I mean? It's like people just aren't seeing the full thing with all of us. We think they know our dreams and passions and who we are, but they're not, but really, are they? And that's what I did. I just started revving that up and I'm honestly, you guys, I'm sharing you as someone who's a novice. I'm not an expert at this. I myself am trying to get better, because I'm right here with you. Like, I'm learning that what I'm trying to recruit is not what I'm portraying, even though I feel it in my heart. And I'm like, why aren't they wanting to join me? I feel like I'm a good leader. I feel like I try real hard. I feel like our team is so fun. We are. But I could be better. I could definitely be better in showing more of what it is I'm trying to recruit. So I hope that helps. Okay, guys, anyone else?
Okay, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I have a really hard time making the graphics and getting the cute things. And then I feel like when I look to other people who I follow and I look up to, their stuff is either like click, I don't even know what it's called, like a poll where click yes or no or this, that. So you can't really screenshot that. And then, or it's personalized, like it's them on it. And so I feel like it's hard to find. Is there a tutorial on how to make cool graphics yourself? Because I went to all the apps that were recommended, but I feel like a total tech noob. I don't get it. It's hard. It's hard as a new person to figure out the graphics.
Okay, I would say, okay, so it's twofold. I would say do not, especially as a new person, get lost with those things. They are good things. I think they're fun and they're nice to have, but I'm telling you, it is not what's going to build the business for you. It is not what's going to make you set apart from someone else. And I just actually had this conversation with Krista like 2 weeks ago, you guys. She's like my friend and my mentor, and in many ways, we talk to each other about a lot of things because we help each other out with stuff. And I go, where am I missing the boat? Like, where am I missing with social media? And she's like, Connie, you started getting crazy with like the cutesy stuff. Like, it's great. She's like, I think when you do all those videos and they're all whoa and like whatever, she's like, yeah, that's amazing. But me as a person who is looking at that goes, I don't have the time to do that. I would never be able to do that. So I'm not gonna be able to work that business. If she has to spend all that time doing all these, heck no, that's way too much for me. Like, I cannot do that. It's not relatable. She's like, but when you just get on and you're talking and you're just being you and you're sharing your authenticity, that's the stuff. And I'm like, you're so right. Like, I just started getting too swept away with it looking a certain way or being this or being that. And I would say still try to learn those things and do them over time and just practice. All it is it's practice. You just got to get in and play those things in practice. But if that's taking up your time and keeping you from ever posting or sharing, then there's a problem, because the authenticity and posting and sharing and just getting out there is way more important than how it actually looks. Do you know what I mean?
That's good. Because
Yeah.
that actually, you know what, if I was seeing somebody else doing that and I wanted to follow them, I would think, well, I could never be where they are because I couldn't do
No.
that.
No, and
That's
she's
smart.
so right.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like, literally, Connie, all people will watch your stories because they just want to see you're doing something cool, but that's not making them feel like, guess what? A busy mom who just had a baby like me, who's running around, who's living in, I would never be, I'd be like, no way, girl, good for you. You can do that business, but that's way too much. I don't got time for that. Like, I'm not even learning all this technical stuff. And I'm like, duh, like, seriously genius. But when I'm on like this, in the morning with my bun and literally, and I just get on and share, and then I pop a quick polar story or whatever, and then do one little picture, whatever, then that's the stuff people are like, oh, okay, she could do this, I could do this, you know? So I
Because
just
they're
want
buying
to tell
you. They're buying you. They could buy the product anywhere. Ththey're buying you. And so you need to be
100%.
relatable. I get it. I
And,
get
and
it.
and and it doesn't mean you can't do those things. Those are still so fun and
Yeah.
cute, and you should just practice them as you go. But if it's keeping you from, then it's a problem. Just getting on and sharing is the biggest thing. Getting on and being consistent is the girl who's going to win. I'm telling you, there's a girl on our team. You guys, by the way, her name's Chelsea. She's out of Kansas. Nothing is ever like cute. Nothing is ever in a nice graphic, like her, nothing. Like it always looks like this, like her pictures, like feel foggy and like smeared. She signs up consistently, more than 10 VIPs a month, 10 mark partners. Like she has over 6 or 7,000 PV right now. She just is, because she just is on, showing passion, showing fire, and people are like, this girl's on fire. Do you know what I mean? So, and she recruits. So it really is, you get what I'm saying. It's long-winded, but just get on and go, and then learn that stuff here and there as you can, little by little, and have fun with it, but don't make it be the main thing, you know?
That's absolutely true. And I get the most responses when I just go over, just like wake up, make sure you read what's in the flash sale, because I have posted many times
Oh, me
the
too.
wrong
Only flash
info.
sale.
My own market partners were like, wait, I don't think that's right. And I was like, oh crap, let me read it.
Yeah.
But I still get responses if I just show up and just even go over, okay, guys, this is what you can go over. The dry shampoo is in it. This is how I use it. I get so many more responses by doing that than the graphics. And if you,
Same.
that's why I do graphics for you guys. And it would even be smart for you to say, like, I don't have time for graphics, and that's the greatest thing, because we have
100%.
a group messenger where our upline makes our graphics and sends them to it. Isn't that cool? So I don't even have to do that. All I have to do is talk to you guys, and I'm available to fill carts.
Yes.
And we all know the whole way it works on Instagram is if you show your face in your Insta stories, you get set up to where everyone sees your stories. So you really do need, and you're doing so good. I see all of your stories, Oksana. I see you constantly going on there. It's not just Monat. You're doing all the things. In fact, I tell her stories all the time, because when Kristen and I were onboarding her, she's like, I don't know that I can do that. I don't know. And then she immediately went on her Insta stories and she said, guys, I'm selling Monat. I know. Don't unfollow me. I promise I'll post other things. And we laughed. And it was so good.
So good.
Like, that's you. That's you. You're like, I know people get crazy, but I promise I'll post other things. And she did exactly what she said she did, and she's killing it. So you are doing fine. Your focus is perfect.
Yep. That's so true. That's so good.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
When do you, and I don't want this to sound mean or rude or anything, but when do you decide to just cut the fat and leave some market partners behind that you feel are like dragging you down? Because you're basically running their business for them.
Well, I've never ever ran anybody's business for them. So you know me, I'm gonna be the toughest love. This is not being rude at all. Because I don't go there. I've never gone there. And no one, because that doesn't help you, doesn't help them. It's literally like the parent that would tie their child's shoe until they were 15 years old. At some point, you better teach your child how to tie the shoe, or you're going to be tying shoes until your son is 15 years old, you know? So I always use those kind of analogies because that's how I am. I'm here to help anybody. I'm going to always be, but I will never, I always say this, you guys, we are building a house. Like, we're all building our own houses, right? And I will give you all the tools to build your house, but I'm not going to build your house for you because I have to build my own. So I'll come help you. I'll help you build the, but I'm never going to pick up the tools for you. Nobody can pick up the tools for you to build the house. So if it gets to ever a point like that, it may be because of just setting them up with maybe some different expectations, which might be fine. If you've done stuff for them, if you've been doing, I just would cut that off at the beginning. So going forward, people know that here's the tools. Now we're going to regroup next Friday and see what you did. Where are you at? Like, and this also starts all the way on with onboarding. Like, you know what you have when you onboard. You know what kind of person you have. Is this someone who wants to run and really do this? Is this someone who doesn't? And I know that things change as they go. And so sometimes you have to have that conversation and go, listen, has something changed since you first told me you wanted to do this business? Is something different? Did something happen? And honestly, that happens with people. Like, something changes, they're like, you know what, I'm not in it anymore. And you don't even know how many mark partners I have. You don't even see them because you just see my runners, but you don't see all the people I have that don't do jack. And that's the conversations I have with them. I go, listen, friend, like, did something change? I know you really wanted this, but you don't show up to meetings, you don't do anything, and that's fine if you want to. I just need to know how to lead you best. Do you want me to be back on you, and are you in this, or do you want me to just check in with you every few months? And they'll tell you, and then you know who you've got, and you have to not waste time. See, this is a big, I'm very big on this. I find way too many people spending way too much time with people that they should not be spending any time with, if that makes sense. There's a way to be a good leader and be able to be there and help people. And then there's a way to be sucked into wasting time on people who are wasting your time. Even dear, wonderful, good, loving people. I have great friends that are my mark partners, and they would tell you the truth too. And they would say, yeah, Connie doesn't call me or check in on me because I would be a waste of her time. I'm not working this business. And they know that, and we love each other and we're fine, we're friends, but we're running businesses here, so those kinds of conversations with just, where are you, did something change with your why? I want to know how to lead you best, and I don't want to waste your time or my time. So let me know, how can I help you? Should we put an accountability thing and like hit it hard this week, or what's going on, girl? And they'll tell you, and they'll just say like, well, yeah, I'm off, I'm whatever, right? And then because you got to focus on recruiting. As you all know, the biggest thing in this business and everything that will solve every problem in this business is to recruit somebody else. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, there's just definitely, you got to know who you're working with for sure.
Now, along with that though, would you still include them in like the group messages, or would you just let it be and then they'll just come back?
Heck no. No,
Okay.
I have so many
Just
mark
cut it
partners that
out.
aren't in. Yeah, they're not. Well,
Okay.
and they tell me like, are you in this or are you not? Like, I don't want you in messages. I don't even want you having to be distracted by things that aren't worth your time. And they will easily tell you that. I mean, there's nobody in a message and nobody in any chat of mine that I know is not working this business. I don't even invite them to because I know they're not working the business. Why would I have them in there just to be a cricket? That doesn't make my chat look good. I'd rather have 2 people that are on fire than 20 that 18 of them are cold. Then there's no point to be in there, like, and again, this doesn't mean people can't revive from the dead, because I've had deads come back 2 years later. But that's where you just on your own time check in on them every 2 months. You just, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Like, just checking in. Like, how's life? What's going on? That's all you got to do. But no, yeah. I don't. If they're not working, they're not working. There's no reason. I've even been so bold as to take people out of team page, guys. I'm like, why are you in here? Keeping on my training. You're not in the business. You don't need to be in my business. Like, I just don't play with that stuff because it's just doesn't make any sense.
And I will add, because I feel Krista, I felt like, no, I don't feel like, it's true. Every single person I started off, it's so funny to see Facebook memories. And I know Connie is the same. I know anybody that's ever done this more than a year is the same, where I'm like, none of those girls are working anymore. None of them. So all of the people that first got me to hit MMB and AMM don't even do the business anymore. Somewhere along the line, they got discouraged and they didn't come back. So it happens all the time. And
totally,
Kristen is a freaking rock star. She has the most market partners on my team. She is always recruiting. She's signing up someone tomorrow.
I know. Yeah, so, Krista, you are. You got no problems. You got no problems, girl.
As someone who is on the receiving end of Krista, she's very good at what she does.
She is.
She'd be like, so, are you ready? And I'm like, nope. And she'd go, okay, not today. And then she'd come back around. So,
Yeah.
are you ready? And I was like, fine. Okay, let's do it.
It's so true. It's so good. It's so encouraging to you guys to know that it's so funny. You guys know my story. 4 car earners and they are not here. Okay. And I've got the messages from them. I've had the private conversations of regrets and things, but that's neither here nor there. But you just keep rolling.
You guys can unmute yourself if you have any questions. That's what Connie's for. If not,
Connie, I have a question. So I think my challenge now is trying to really find what to post because like I've been working from home right now. I don't have kids. I don't have I don't know. I feel like I don't really have anything to share. So that's my thing because I don't just want to be posting about Monet, and people just eventually stop looking at my stories or get fed up of me just trying to sell them something. So I don't really, that's like where I'm struggling right now.
Okay.
I wasn't even active like on social media. I had just kind of before I joined, I was not really active like on my Instagram, didn't use Facebook. I even had it deactivated for a long time. So now like I was trying to come back and just be active and, me running or like my dog or something, my coffee in the morning. But I'm trying to do where I'm constantly like posting every day.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what you would recommend.
Okay. Here's the first thing. Have you watched the 5 Pillars training?
That's in the academy, right?
No. So go on Team Impact. This will be so refreshing for you. Go on Team Impact and just type in 5 Pillars or social media. It's under one of those. And this will be like a breath of fresh air because this is what will help you learn. And this changed everything for all of us when we learned how to do this on social media. It is the 5 pillars of who you are. So Stephanie is not just Monet. Stephanie is all the other things that you are. And you're going to find out how to do that by brain dumping things about you. Are you into health and wellness? Are you into girl talk? Are you into funny comedic stuff? Are you into what do you love? Do you love animals? Do you love gardening? Do you love cooking? And it brings out the top 5 things that really make up who you are and what you're passionate about. And it teaches you how to just now everything you do, everything you post, everything you share is going to rotate between those 5 pillars. And this is how I learned 2 years ago how to do my social media so that I wasn't just getting on and just, again, monating. Now it's Connie, when you see me, you really see my 5 pillars: faith, family, Monate, my autoimmune disease stuff, and real talk. That's my 5 pillars. And everything I share, I have it down now to a T. Before I would actually have a paper out and I would go through and post and make sure I was rotating through and always going through. And now I can do it like the back of my hand. And I just know in my mind, okay, on stories, I've kind of been sharing heavy on this, or maybe I've been posting a lot on that. And I just keep rolling through. And guess what? Now you build a community of people who come and find you and talk to you. And just by the way, so you guys know, every single market partner that's joined me in the past 2 years, no joke, has joined me because we connected with one of my other 4 pillars. Every single one. Nobody is out there typing in Monate. Who can I buy Monate from? Like they are typing in though autoimmune disease, home cooked meals, gluten-free, whatever, right? And then they find me, or pastors' wives, and then they find me, right? And so they connect to me because I've shared about my other pillars. And this goes back to that being real and open, and people got to know who you are and trust you. So do that exercise, Stephanie. That's going to be so fun for you. And you'll be able to get out a calendar and go, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have my 5 pillars. Today I'm doing this. Tomorrow I'm doing that. And then it starts getting your brain excited to create content for those 5 things. And it's really fun.
Now, do you use hashtags on your stories to get people to click to get to your page?
No, and I'm the worst, you guys. I wish I could tell you tactics on Instagram, but I know none. I literally know nothing. I don't even know if you're supposed to still even be doing hashtags and all the thing. I ask this all the time with people. I'm like, do we still do hashtags? Are they working? Have they ever worked? I don't know. I really don't. I just getting on is, I know, the number one thing to do. Even if you just getting on is the person who wins. That's what the algorithm likes is, are you present? Other than that, I know nothing.
I feel like
I have
specifically, sorry, with hashtags, like something Christina Smallwood said a while ago that stuck with me. She said, share the hard stuff. Share the hard stuff that you're going through, because those are the things that people are going through that they're not sharing themselves, but that they're looking for people to relate to. Yeah. And those are the things I will honestly put hashtags on. And that's where I get my most genuine followers, because people can relate in my hurt more than in like when I'm doing good. And those when I get the personal messages, thank you so much for sharing this, blah, 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 blah. So those are the times I would share the hashtags, which it's kind of hard because you're like sharing something very personal and then putting a hashtag, but it's like I just try and find that balance, or hide it behind my stories, or share my IGTV and hide it behind that. Just because
That's
that is
good.
where you're creating those relationships, you know?
I love that. That's great, Chrissy. I'm moving up here, you guys, because it's getting dark back here. So I'm still here. If you guys have questions, I'm just moving. Are you guys good? You feel like we're going to rock this thing?
We're good. Does anybody have anything else? If not, let's let Connie get back to her party. Get
Okay,
out of her
guys.
car.
Seriously, here's the thought of the day. I'm going to go share this too at some point on my own social media, because it just remember the Bob Goff, okay? Quit merely asking for thicker glasses, and know that just get up on the shoulders of Jesus and find a better view, or whatever I said, however the quote was. But it's so, you know what I'm saying, right? We got to get out there and share that stuff. We got to get open with people. We got to show people our ambitions and our drive. And you all, I'm telling you, are doing everything you need to be doing. You're in pure momentum. You're all doing the do. I see you guys are. You really are. So just stay at that, because that's the kind of stuff that pays off in due season, okay? I love you guys. I'm so excited. Chrissy and Mel, we're going to just cry and celebrate when you get those cars. I cannot wait to see it and share it. And all of us just be a part of it. You guys are amazing leaders.
Thank you so much, Connie. Seriously,
Connie.
you're the best. Sitting between
Thank
parties and
you.
everything. Thank you so much.
I love it. I love it. Okay, love you guys. Have a good night.
Love you, ladies. Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Bye.